So it seems like ever since the whole SAG-AFTRA Paperbagboy interview, the whole Genshin community has been blowing up in terms of the VA drama. And well, I came across a post which has been heavily downvoted, and I think I see the reason why. I mean, this is a person 2 days ago who was claiming that they wanted they were kind of giving a neutral standpoint. They're saying, for someone who's being neutral, what is your thought about the fans' reaction on the whole controversy surrounding the ENVA of Genshin Impact? And they're saying, I'm always on the neutral side. I always like voice actors' performances in this game and also in other anime games, and I don't care about the controversy surrounding the voice actors. Now, as we go through this, you're going to see that this person is not very neutral, and even the comments expose this person for not being a very neutral party, and instead trying to sway people over to one kind of side, and kind of having a very unfair look at a lot of this kind of EN voice actor situation, because there is so much going on whenever it comes to the kind of SAG-AFTRA strikes, whenever it comes to facts, and also so much whenever it comes to a lot of the English voice actors and what they're doing online. There's too much to document, almost to the point where people always get misconstrued on certain things. Now, that could be one of the smallest things out there that maybe it's not a big deal if it gets misconstrued, or it could be one of the biggest things out there which could affect the kind of outlook of a lot of people, and it can really affect what is going on in the drama overall. And they go on to say, and what confuses me is this fan culture in anime and games. It begs a lot of questions. Number one, why is it becoming a habit for fans to start attacking English voice actors involved in controversies? It is just for fans to attack and harass. This controversy surrounding Genshin EMVA reminds me of Funimation and Kickvick incident. I'm not going to explain in detail. After that incident, many communities started to turn against anime and Japanese media, English dub industry, and its VA. Now, that first one, if you do a little bit of research into what has actually gone on during this entire kind of situation, you can see how horrible a lot of the English voice actors have been, including Corina, including Kaylee Mills, including a lot of these people who have outright gone and attacked people over on Twitter and attacked other voice actors over on Twitter due to the fact of them taking a job, or due to them just not believing in the SAG-AFTRA strikes or whatever, and they feel the need to go and attack them. They feel the need to just be horrible online when they're supposed to be a kind of professional voice actor, and saying that they say, why has it become a habit for them to start attacking them? It's because they've been attacking first, and I think asking those questions is kind of dumb. I mean, if you do like a little bit of research into it, you can clearly see the fact that how much Corina has done and how much Corina has been saying over online has been pretty crazy, to the point where a lot of people are fed up and they will go and attack them, and that's just how it is. And they say, number two, why some of their comments were also a bit too far, like wishing the worst for a VA to be fired, insulting US free speech, wanting US dubbing industry to die, or even death threats. For those who made those comments, how old are they? What do you think of people celebrating Corina stopping voicing Paimon? Which again, obviously a lot of these are questions towards people, but I feel like they are very easily answered. I don't know why this person is trying to stay on the neutral side or whatever, and I feel like it doesn't sound very neutral at all. But yeah, no, I feel like whenever it comes to wishing the worst for the VAs, I mean, I think wishing for them to be fired is totally fine. I mean, especially when they're not doing their job. I mean, that's very obvious. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who just don't do their job, and so they deserve to get fired. And the same goes for people that attack their fellow voice actors online, and the same goes for people that speak actively out against a lot of the companies that they work for. They deserve to get fired. Now, do they deserve to die? No, of course not. That's obviously way too far, and those kind of comments are disgusting, and they shouldn't go to anybody, even people who are wishing pretty bad things upon other people. And I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things where, people can wish for them to be fired, but maybe, other kind of things is a little bit too far. And obviously, yeah, they are taking it too far. They say, number three, do they have any power to destroy the career of VAs? People tried spamming negative comments on Kaylee Mills in the Nikkei livestream, or people screenshot comments, or relied on YouTubers like Hirohe or someone like Paperbagboy. Now, saying that kind of stuff about the Nikkei stuff makes me see that, obviously you can see that they are trying to find out more about the information and things like that, and trying to find out a little bit more. But at the same time, they're kind of like referencing some pretty nuanced stuff that's happened in the community. For example, like the Kaylee Mills Nikkei's live stream. Now, I do think, you know, a lot of people do have the power to destroy the careers of a lot of these voice actors. And the main reason to do that is actually through the fault of the voice actors themselves. You know, there's a lot of people out there. For example, like we saw with the Paperbagboy stuff. Essentially, with the Paperbagboy stuff, you know, he got, you know, an interview with Paimon's voice actor. And pretty much Paimon's voice actor was the one to make it worse themselves. You know, Paperbagboy was asking some pretty standard questions and was asking some pretty normal interview questions. And then they just kept digging themselves into a further hole, which obviously, yeah, it's pretty much more their fault than it is a lot of people trying to create negativity at the VAs. They are kind of ending up destroying their whole career and their own careers themselves. And people like me, people like Hirohei, people like Paperbagboy are the ones that are kind of just reporting on this and showing people what they're doing. You know, we're not kind of making anything up or trying to make them look even worse. They're making themselves look bad. And we literally just kind of expose that and show a lot of people, you know, what they've actually been doing over online. Now, they say, do they have any, no, they say, why can't separate the English voice actors from the characters they played? I mean, I think people can. I think it's very obvious. They say for the neutral side, do any of their controversies not deter you from playing the English dub of the game? And I think there's a lot of people out there who actually don't play the game of kind of Genshin Impact in English dub due to the fact of Paimon, due to the fact of maybe one of the other voice actors. And I think that's totally fine. I mean, you know, the Japanese voice acting cast is actually really good. There's a lot of anime voice actors over there. So I think it's actually fine to go to like a Japanese version of the game because, again, you know, it sounds probably better. And also, you know, you don't have to listen to Corina whining in your ear the entire time, which I think is actually a big positive. And that's why a lot of people have switched the kind of language of the game in general. They say, even as someone on neutral side, I want this drama ends. Okay. I don't want any bad blood between the fans and the VA. Wishing them for the worst to celebrate their career ruined is good. I don't want US VA industry to be destroyed. I mean, again, you know, you can want the US industry not to be destroyed, but again, they're destroying it themselves. I think a big factor that someone needs to take from this is that it's not any of us that are destroying this. It's themselves destroying it and us exposing the information that has been kind of, you know, been out there. It's on the internet already. It's just we're compiling it, we're calling it out, and we're holding a lot of these voice actors, you know, accountable for what they've been doing online. And, you know, if they want the US VA industry to get, you know, better and they want people to support them a little bit more, well, first of all, you know, obviously get the hell off Twitter. I mean, you know, that does not help at all. And obviously it makes them look even worse. And I feel like the US industry for voice acting is already pretty cooked. Now, is it completely over? Obviously not. You know, they've already built up such a massive infrastructure whenever it comes to that kind of stuff. But I definitely think a lot more work is going to be taken overseas to somewhere like the UK or somewhere like that, where essentially, you know, a lot of companies have been working even more with companies there because they don't have the problem of strikes. They don't have the problem with annoying voice actors who are on Twitter all the time, kind of talking about the strikes or whatever. So again, it's something that, you know, they've done themselves. And if these strikes don't end, well, they're going to move and they're going to, you know, leave. They say in the comments as well, people have started replying to this and essentially exposing this person, saying, you sound anything but neutral. There is nothing wrong with liking VAs or just not caring about the drama. Heck, this is the healthiest, but even beyond these, your questions are very much leading questions, which is definitely true. They say, I love your very well written Kaylee Mills appreciation post in r/anime dubs. Sounds totally neutral. It doesn't matter what anyone here writes. You lack the ability to remove yourself from personal feelings and look at the situation with critical thinking. And saying, knew it was something like this. I swear, I tried to give these people the benefit of the doubt that they were coming out of the woodwork and not very aware of this situation, but it always turns into some kind of bootlickers feigning ignorance to spread propaganda, which again is definitely true. And I think it's kind of funny, you know, that this person has been posting about Kaylee Mills over on other, you know, subreddits and things like that, which, you know, they've just been caught there essentially by a lot of the people in the comments, which thankfully they did, because obviously these questions could look pretty innocent to a lot of people, and it seems like they are just trying to push a lot of different kind of points and trying to kind of go down certain routes to get you like thinking down a different kind of state of mind, and saying even if you're neutral, you can always investigate the whole thing and make up your mind about it, which is 100% true. There's hundreds of videos on it, whether, you know, it's my stuff, which, you know, I've got a whole kind of, I guess, series behind this. I mean, I've got what, over 20 to 30 videos, probably even more than that, talking about this entire situation and everything that's gone on in it. Same with Hirohei. Paperbagboy has some of them as well, which again, there's a lot of people that have been covering a lot of this kind of stuff. And they're saying, I suggest you start by researching why certain VAs lost their fan support, which again is definitely true. They're saying you're not neutral. It's obvious from the way that you phrase your post. Genshin, which has been enjoyed by millions, is half silent for 6 months, and people are fed up with it, are losing interest / dropping the game. Reaction to the SAG-AFTRA tricks and demanding sacking rude VAs is justified. Why support VAs who call players outright stupid? This drama is only happening in the US for a reason. Deception by US VA Guild. Hoyo should have acted before waiting 6 months, and by the way, still not officially changed their Paimon. There are decent VAs like Capitanos. I hope they stay around, but some of them need to go, and the game needs to be voiced very soon. They say, how about ask the VAs why they attack the fans as well, which again is true. They say OP is neutral, so they won't, of course, edit / serious, which again is crazy. I mean, I don't think they're actually that neutral. They say the VAs are reaping what they sow. That's it. The few toxic POSs are getting what they're just desserts. So again, everyone isn't happy still with a lot of this kind of stuff, and they're calling out this person for obviously clearly not being very, neutral, as they tried to say in this post. But I thought this was kind of a funny post to go through because, again, they tried to make it seem like that, and they're trying to spread this kind of stuff, which I thought, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the Genshin Impact community did call it out. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. What do you think about this post in general? Do you think they had a neutral kind of questions about this, or do you think they were very leading? Again, I thought they were very leading, but hey, maybe you got some kind of different opinion about that. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop to use my code KAZA, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.